Ah, yes, the media. We in America like to call it the fourth estate, a key part of how our society works, but the mainstream media don't work, and they are destroying themselves and us. And there are 7 ugly reasons about the media from Jussie Smollett's debacle. It's from a site called Newsbusters. Here are the 7 ugly lessons. 1, the media will never ever learn. We know that one. 2, celebrities won't apologize, and here's why. 3, the Roseanne standard won't apply. 4, Trump derangement syndrome is very real. 5, local media often trumps national outlets. 6, there's a reason the Chicago police moved so cautiously. 7, here comes the spin. Those are just the headings. You'll need to read the article to get the detail, but there's an even bigger reason, and it's one that everyone needs to understand and pay attention to. The average American refuses to learn or use critical thinking. And yes, it's a choice, and we chose to eliminate critical thinking from our society because it gets in the way of our personal desires. If we think critically, we can't accuse others of our own mistakes. If we think critically, we can't cheat on our spouses, watch pornography, lie and steal. If we think critically, we start to realize how awful we are, and we just cannot have that. We Americans have become idiots, and we like it that way. And we talk about more of this in an article from Peak Prosperity called "We're Living in the Groundhog Show." What would you say if you found out that you were living in a combination of the movies Groundhog Day and The Truman Show? Would you call it the Groundhog Show? Truman Day? Well, there's a quote in this article that I have always felt appropriate for our world. Quote, "It's difficult to get a man to understand something when his salary depends upon him not understanding it." Close quote. From Upton Sinclair. Our world is full of people whose salary depends upon them not understanding reality. Or, as my favorite journalist, John Swinton, once said, quote, "There is no such thing in America as an independent press, unless it is out in country towns. You are all slaves. You know it, and I know it. There's not one of you who dares to express an honest opinion. If you express it, you would know beforehand that it would never appear in print. I am paid $150 for keeping honest opinion out of the paper I am connected with. Others of you are paid similar salaries for doing similar things. If I should allow honest opinion to be printed in one issue of my paper, I would be like Othello before 24 hours. My occupation would be gone. The man who would be so foolish as to write honest opinions would be out on the street hunting for another job. The business of a New York journalist is to distort the truth, to lie outright, to pervert, to vilify, to fawn at the feet of Mammon, and to sell his country and his race for his daily bread, or for what is about the same, his salary. You know this, and I know it. And what foolery to be toasting an independent press. We are the tools and vassals of rich men behind the scenes. We are jumping jacks. They pull the string and we dance. Our time, our talents, our lives, our possibilities are all the property of other men. We are intellectual prostitutes." Close quote. From John Swinton in approximately just around the early 1880s. Think about that. A lot more than 100. We're talking about 140 years ago, guys. It was that bad then. Think about how bad it is now. Our world has been taken over by intellectual prostitutes. Did you think that this would turn out well?